Fresh, the new cream deodorant, presents David Harding, Counterspy. Washington, calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington, calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy. Calling Washington.
David Harding, Counterspy, is brought to you by Fresh. Fresh, the new cream deodorant that stops perspiration worries safely. Switch to Fresh to be sure. 2 weeks ago, Charles Pierce, a man in his early 30s, immaculately dressed, slight, with piercing eyes, stood in the hallway of a large gray stone apartment building in Baltimore. With him was a young woman, Dora Lester.
I do not feel this is good, Charles.
It's the biggest opportunity we ever had, Dora.
You have never met this man.
Oh, I know all about him, though. He is in command.
You're very strange in my stomach. A woman's intuition.
That's enough. We're paid well to take chances.
You do not think this is a trick? You have your gun?
Always. But I won't need it, Dora. It's a great honor to meet him. His espionage work is known all over the world. For 2 years, he was in command of all Gestapo agents in Spain. Yes? Mr. Burley? Yes? We received your message to come here. When? Day before yesterday. We were in Boston. Come in. Come over to the table. Just sit down, please. Now, if you will establish your identity. Now, this is my lady friend, Dora Lester. She worked with me under Hans Mueller. Just a moment. Remove your hat, Dora.
Why, yes.
Uh-huh. This picture's a very good likeness of you.
You've got a picture of me? When was it taken?
The important part is that it was taken for identification. So you used the name Charles Pierce. You wish some identification, Mr. Burley? Unnecessary. I was standing unobserved right at the desk of the hotel when you signed in last night. I wanted to see your handwriting. Well, no wonder, Mr. Burley, you're famous for your precautions. From now on, you two will take orders from me. Come along.
May I ask where we are going?
To the 8th floor balcony of a certain building. You'll be very surprised at what you see.
A person could very easily fall to his death from this balcony. Couldn't he, Mr. Burley?
Very easily, Dora. Now, Charles. See that long, low building over there? The one fenced in with the barbed wire? Yes. That building is the United States Government Laboratory. It covers these 2 acres. And the guards who are patrolling there? Just a moment, till I close the fire door. There are 12 guards there, night and day. There's a beam of an electric eye which goes all around the building. Automatic protective devices of every description. What do they protect in gold? Something even more valuable. Bugs.
Bugs?
You're fooling. No. They have bugs in there worth as much as $5,000 each.
I hate bugs.
I couldn't hate any bug worth $5,000.
What is the mystery of them, Mr. Burley?
One of the greatest allies of the Japanese is disease caused by jungle bugs. Disease Americans have never experienced. Well, the United States government has had hundreds of specialists capturing these odd bugs in the Pacific. Oh. These bugs are brought to this country and placed in that building. Each species, specially heated rooms, tropical conditions, their own special food. And they're bred there. Millions of them. You mean they keep all of the bugs there so the United States can experiment on them to develop poison sprays to kill each different kind? Exactly. New poisonous sprays could not be developed to kill these bugs if there were not thousands of those different species to experiment on. The breeding of some of these bugs is a very complicated process. For instance, Mr. Burley, United States Marines land on an island. Yes, and possibly in 24 hours, a certain percentage of the Marine invaders will be suffering from sickness caused by some kind of a bite from these little-known bugs. Each island, each jungle is hundreds of different kinds.
But suppose the Marines do know about the bugs before they land. What can they do about it?
If a certain poisonous spray has been developed, effective against the type of bugs they know they will encounter, American planes fly over the island with thousands of gallons of the spray. Spray the jungles, many of the bugs will be destroyed.
No wonder those bugs in that laboratory are valuable.
But the way that laboratory is guarded, it would be impossible to get near it or destroy the bugs. Impossible for anyone but me. See that building just at the end of the laboratory? Yeah. That is a scientific library. And it is open to medical students who wish to do research there on insecticides. Is it guarded? Certainly. The guard at the door. He searches everyone when they enter or leave. The guard's name is Connors. Connors. In the evening when he's off duty, Connors often drinks beer down the street over at that restaurant with a sign. Yeah. You're to meet him. Find out what his hobbies are. What he eats. What he likes. Then report to me by telephone. Hello?
Mr. Burley?
Yes?
That gentleman you asked me to meet.
Yeah?
I've become quite friendly with him. His hobby is, dogs.
Dogs?
Yes. He talks about them by the hour.
Oh. Very interesting.
What shall I do?
Come to my apartment at 11 tonight. When you visit the scientific library again tomorrow, I will have had something planned.
Hello, Connors.
Hi, Charlie. Well, of all the times you've come to the library here, you didn't tell me you owned a dog.
How do you like him?
Come here, boy. Come here. Hey, that's a peach of a dog. Belgian Shepherd.
Yeah.
Boy, let's see your mouth.
You liking dogs so much, Connors, you sold me the idea. So I bought this one.
About 2 years old, huh?
Uh-huh.
Now you got something.
Yeah, and he's highly trained. I don't want to lose out on my reading at the library here, so can't I take him in with me and tie him to the leg of a chair?
Well, I don't know as I should let you, but... Hey, that dog's almost human, ain't he?
How about it?
Okay, take him in with you. Hey, Charlie. Wait a minute.
Yeah?
I got to search you, you know.
You still have to after knowing me so well?
This library section's right next to the scientific laboratory, you know. I wouldn't let my own mother in without searching her.
Okay.
Arms up.
Yeah.
Turn around. Okay.
You're sure a thorough guard, Connors.
I got 2 kids in the Pacific. You bet I'm thorough. Okay, Charlie. If you keep them quiet, you can take them in.
You know, Dora, this dog doesn't like Mr. Burley's apartment here.
I can see from the way he looks, Charlie.
Now, Charles,
Yes, sir?
for 3 weeks now, you've been taking this dog into the library next to the laboratory. You sure the guard likes the dog?
Connors? Crazy about him.
That ammo potassium I gave to the dog.
Really made him look good and sick.
Oh, yeah. His nose was hot and dry, his eyes glassy.
Hmm? And you did not bring the dog's apparent sickness to the attention of Connor.
Oh, no. I was just going into the scientific library with the dog when he looked at him and he said, your dog's sick, Charlie. Give him sulfathiazole. And if I was you, I'd put a blanket on him for a couple of days. Keep him bundled up.
Perfect. So the guard himself suggested the blanket.
Sure did.
Wonderful.
Easy, boy, easy. Come here.
It's our big moment, Charlie. The climax. Now, this pentolite,
Penalite. What's that?
it's an explosive more powerful than TNT.
Explosive?
That's right. And a little time watch. That'll set it off.
You're...
We'll sew the explosive and the time watch right into the underside of the dog's blanket.
Well,
You'll walk into the library with a sick dog that the guard Connors has got a weakness for. He'll search you. But with his type of mind, he'll never think to feel under the dog's heavy blanket. Because he himself suggested the blanket.
yeah. But what about me?
You'll tie the dog to a leg of a chair in the library. The time watch will set the charge off at exactly 11. At 5 minutes of 11, make an excuse. Walk out. Disappear.
I never dreamed of such a thing.
I'll blow the library and the laboratory with all its expensive bugs off the face of the earth. It'll take 'em years to collect and breed new ones.
It seems like the dog knows what's going on.
Tomorrow morning, Charles, take the dog in a taxicab. Drive right to the laboratory. You'll have enough explosive wrapped around him to blow a city to kingdom come.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to that part of our program known as Be Fresh or Be Fired. Yes, the Be Fresh or Be Fired department. Maybe you might want to call it the Be Fresh or Be Lonely department. Well, anyhow, it's a quiz corner where a fresh answer is always welcome. First question.
Why do you refer to 4 o'clock in the working day as a time when you're apt to come up against the deodorant deadline?
And the answer?
Because when you're working, an embarrassing deodorant failure is more likely to happen toward the day's end. When you're out on a date at night, 10 o'clock is another sort of 0 hour. But why be worried? Switch to that new cream deodorant Fresh, to be sure.
Second, a man's question. Is using Fresh a sissy thing to do?
And the answer?
Well, Fresh is a big seller among GIs and post exchanges all around the world.
That's plenty answer.
Which brings us to a question frequently asked.
I get conflicting advice from people I know on how to be sure of personal daintiness. I'm confused.
Well, friends, as many famous beauty editors and authorities on good grooming can tell you, modern science has the answer, and Fresh brings it to you. In Fresh, you get the benefit of the most effective perspiration-stopping ingredient known to science. Fresh contains an exclusive ingredient. Fresh cream deodorant stops perspiration worries completely and safely. It's safe for you and for your clothing. It's creamy and smooth, not sticky, doesn't dry out, and it's never gritty. So it's a pleasure to switch to Fresh, to be sure. Now, back to David Harding, Counterspy.